else. My legs walked, my hands acted, my mind obeyed the forest. When the moment came, I felt a sudden presence around us, the same presence from the clearing in the forest. My chest tightened, my eyes blurred. The voice returned, "Do it." My hands moved. The moment ended just like that. The first sacrifice was done. The next morning, I received a call. They told me he died in his sleep, but I knew what caused his death. After his death, I woke up and felt a strange peace, a dangerous peace. Everything suddenly multiplied. More invitations to preach, more money, more influence, more followers, more honor. People began to speak highly of me. They said I had unusual grace. They did not know what the grace cost. They did not know that while they celebrated me, a grave had been opened. But at night, the peace disappeared. Sleep became punishment. Dreams became reality. I saw him standing at the edge of the forest, staring at me. His clothes very dirty. His skin was pale. His eyes were empty. He never spoke, just stared. Every night, he waited for me in the same place, the place of his death. I woke up shaking, gasping for breath, sweating like I was drowning. The power I had gained did not silence the guilt. It only increased the hunger for more sacrifice. You see, OJ, the first sacrifice gave me power. The second sacrifice would be the beginning of my destruction. What I thought would satisfy the darkness only made it demand more. Because once you give darkness one soul, it will never stop asking. I woke up shaking, gasping for breath, sweating like I was drowning. The power I had gained did not silence the guilt. It only increased the hunger for more sacrifice. You see, OJ, the first sacrifice gave me power. The second sacrifice would be the beginning of my destruction. What I thought would satisfy the darkness only made it demand more. Because once you give to darkness one soul, it will never stop asking. It will always come back. People saw me rising. They did not see what was rotting inside me. My ministry exploded overnight. My small chapel in Accra moved to a warehouse in Tema, then to a proper building in Spintex. Pastors who ignored me now wanted to collaborate. My phone never stopped ringing. Everywhere I preached, crowds fell under power. People cried, testimonies increased, offerings increased even more. They thought it was the hand of God, but I knew the truth. The power I was using belonged to darkness. And the darkness wanted more. Money came so fast I could not count. A car was gifted to me, a Honda, then later a Toyota. I did not beg for anything anymore. People offered before I even asked. Yet, with every rise in my success, a part of me died. I could not laugh anymore. I could not smile genuinely. I could not feel joy. Everything looked perfect on the outside, but inside me was a grave. At night, I heard footsteps in my room, not from humans, from things I could not see. Sometimes I felt cold fingers touch my feet as I sleep. Sometimes I felt a shadow beside my bed. I knew it was the forest reminding me of the pact. The voice changed. It was no longer asking for sacrifice. It was demanding one. Every time I stood on stage to preach, I felt it inside me. Bring another. I tried to fight the voice by preaching harder. I tried to prove to myself that I could be both powerful and righteous. But the forest does not share ownership. Once you serve it, You belong to it. And so I give another sacrifice, then another, and another. The more I sacrificed, the more influence I gained. But the more influence I gained, the more empty I became. The truth is, OJ, I wasn't winning. I was sinking deeper. Every miracle I performed was paid for with blood. My heart became harder. The guilt I felt after the first sacrifice slowly faded. I began to justify everything. It's just destiny. Some must die for others to rise. Maybe these people were already marked for death. These lies made the killing easier. Soon, sacrifices became normal to me. I no longer saw people. I saw opportunities. I no longer saw souls. I saw payments. My conscience stopped speaking. My emotions stopped functioning. I thought I had gained control, but the darkness was the one controlling me. Years passed. My ministry became known across Ghana, across West Africa. Prophets wanted to be connected to me. Politicians came to me for blessings. They thought I carried God, but what I carried was a kingdom of darkness. Then one night, OJ, everything changed. I woke up suddenly in my apartment in cantonment, not from a sound, from a feeling. A thick, heavy presence filled my room, the same presence from the circle in the forest. The mark on my neck burned with deep heat, like hot iron melting into my spine. I felt the words inside me. One more. This one must be innocent. This one must be pure. This time the voice was different, not requesting, commanding. And immediately I understood who they wanted. Not a stranger, not a church worker, someone pure, a child. Blood left my face. My hands trembled. For the first time in a long run, I felt fear. Strange things began happening around me. My mother's illness suddenly returned, but this time worse. Doctors at Rich Hospital, then Kolebu, could not explain her condition. Members of my church started experiencing mysterious problems. Some lost their jobs, some fell sick. The power I gained became a curse to everyone who came near me. I realized something painful. I entered the forest to save my mother, but the forest came for her instead. Everything around me began to collapse. The same power people admired was destroying everything I loved. The truth is, OJ, darkness never gives power without planning to collect something greater. This time, it did not want just a sacrifice. It wanted everything. The forest did not just want soul. It wanted my future. It wanted my peace. It wanted my blood. And soon, I would face that final choice. Give the sacrifice they demanded, or become the sacrifice myself. After the last ritual, I returned home, but everything was different. The church grew bigger than anything I imagined. The fame I had prayed for came like a flood. People bent on their knees whenever I entered the room. Members screamed my name, calling me man of God. Politicians wanted me at their events. I was now the prophet with power that shook cities. But inside me, there was nothing left except emptiness and fear. Every night, I heard footsteps in my room. I felt cold hands brushing my skin. I sensed breathing in the dark, slow, heavy, and angry. No matter how high I climbed, the darkness climbed with me. The pact required one sacrifice every year. Not just anybody, someone connected to my destiny, someone who trusted me. The first year, I sacrificed a stranger. The second year, a woman who believed I was helping her. The third year, someone innocent who only wanted prayer. But the fourth year, the dark lords demanded someone from my family. My hands shook when the message came. They didn't speak with words. They spoke with pain. That night, I woke up choking, as if invisible hands were squeezing my throat. I crawled to the floor, crying silently. I begged them to take anything else, but the air became thick, and I felt their presence surrounding me. The decision was already made. The contract I signed in the forest said, "Your blood or the blood of one who loves you." My mother was sick again, worse than before. She needed help, and I had the power to help her, but only if she was sacrificed. The same mother who prayed for me, the same mother whose tears pushed me to enter the forest, the same mother whose sickness drove me into darkness. I watched her suffer. The dark spirits mocked me every night, whispering inside my head, "Choose. If she dies naturally, she becomes ours anyway." So I made a decision that destroyed me forever. I did nothing. I watched her die slowly in that room in Nima. I watched her breathe her last breath. I watched her eyes fade without peace. And the moment she died, a heavy wind blew through my room. It wasn't air, it was a presence. The darkness took her soul. That day, I died too. After my mother's death, the church began collapsing like a building without foundation. The crowd reduced. Miracles stopped. The power left me. When I prayed on stage, I could no longer feel anything. It was as if the darkness had taken everything and left me with nothing. Then the hunting began. At first, it was small sounds, whispers, footsteps. But later, I started seeing faces. Some familiar, some strange. Faces of those I had sacrificed. They stood beside my bed. They followed me into the bathroom. They sat on a chair across from me. They said nothing. They just stared. One night, I walked into the church hoping to pray. But when I stepped onto the altar, I felt a cold hand grip my ankle. I fell, and for the first time, I screamed like a child. The darkness came for me in broad daylight, too. During a sermon, I saw her, my mother, standing in the crowd, silent, expressionless, staring at me with the same eye that once looked at me with love. My voice cracked while preaching. I collapsed right there on stage. That was the last day I held a microphone. The truth is, I tried running away from the pact. I traveled to Kumasi, to Takrady, even to Nigeria. I changed my numbers. I stopped attending church. But the darkness always found me, because the contract didn't bind me to a place. It bound me to them. Then one night, as I sat alone in a hotel in Koforidua, the same figures I saw in the forest appeared around me. My breath froze. I couldn't move. They didn't speak with voice. They spoke inside me. "Your time is up." I tried to say something, apologize, beg, but no words came out. My chest tightened. My body became heavy. I felt my heart slowing down. As the darkness closed in, a realization hit me. I entered the forest to save my mother. I lost her. I entered the forest to escape poverty. I lost everything. I entered to gain power in ministry. I lost my soul. My life ended the same way it started, in darkness. There is a saying written in the secret books of the dark world. The devil never gives you anything for free. Everything you take, you must repay with pain. To anyone who might be reading this confession, power without God is a death sentence. I'm telling this story not because I wanted pity. I'm telling it because somewhere someone is planning to take the same road I took. Someone is packing his bags. Someone is about to travel to the forest. Someone thinks the devil will help them build their destiny. Let my story be that roadblock, because the forest is real, the pact is real, the price is death, and once you sign your name, there is no way back. I am writing this in a room I can no longer leave, not because the doors are locked, but because the shadows won't let me. They are here now, all of them standing in corners, sitting on the bed, breathing behind me as I write these words. My mother, the young man, the woman, the child, all the others whose names I've tried to forget. They don't speak. They don't need to. Their eyes say everything. The mark on my neck burns constantly now. Not with heat, with cold, like death spreading through my veins, slow and deliberate. I tried praying once more, 3 nights ago. I opened my mouth to call God, and instead of words, I tasted blood. My own tongue had split down the middle. By morning, it was healed, but the message was clear. That door is closed forever. The forest takes back what it loans, and the interest is always your soul. I hear footsteps now, heavy ones, coming up the stairs, but I'm on the ground floor. There are no stairs in this building. The lamp beside me just flickered once, twice. I know what comes next. If you are reading this, then they've already found me. And if you are reading this thinking you are smarter than I was, thinking you can make a better deal, thinking you can control what lives in the darkness, then I'll see you soon. The forest is always hungry, and it's always waiting. This confession was found on a laptop in a hotel room in Accra on November 3rd, 2024. The room was empty. The door was locked from the inside. Nobody was ever found, but the walls were covered in symbols. The same symbols drawn in the red circle throughout the forest of the Volta region. The laptop battery was full, but it should have died weeks ago. And every night at 3:33 a.m., it turned itself on and opened this document. We've tried to delete it. We've tried to destroy the laptop. It always comes back, just like he said it would. This is youranonymousoj, and if you are new here, I would like you to like, subscribe, share, comment, and hype this channel. And tell somebody about youranonymousoj. I'll see you in our next confession.